All right, so you want to sell more cars. You heard digital's pretty big, and you keep hearing about Google PMax this, Google VLAs that. You see manufacturers, whether you're Infiniti, Stellantis, Ford, and beyond, dumping barrels worth of money into Google's ecosystem. Your dealership may have gone through a couple agencies so far. You've run your course with PMax. It shows really good conversions, and then it doesn't. Can you still sell more cars with Google PMax? How to do it, what to look for, and what do we do moving into 2026? Guys, this is David Feldman-Makrias, Bing, Bang, Boom. Thank you very much. And my company is Digital Difference Makers. I have some great team members that actually know way more than I do. And I'm just going to share with you some of the highlights that we look at to see if PMax is actually successful in driving car sales. Okay? And really, we can't sell the car at all. Back when I was in the dealership, I had to actually go and talk to the person, bring them in, take them to the steps through the process, write them up, do the test drive, right? If they want to leave, I TO them. You know, you still got to do all that stuff. That stuff, at least right now, is not going away. But can Google PMax actually get you more unique, and dare I say, unique opportunities? Okay? And yes, if you see these little blue things, I got some earplugs in because sometimes they tend to be too loud for myself. So without further ado, let's just get into the example of what to look at when you want to sell more cars with Google PMax. All right, so check it out. I am inside a live Google Ads account, and I am actually inside one specific PMax or Performance Max campaign. You can see and validate that I am indeed telling the truth because this says Google Ads up here and this says Performance Max. Now, there's a lot of different reporting. There's a lot of different things you can dive into in the suite of Google properties and Google Ads for technicalities and adjustments and this and that and all this different data. But what I'm looking at specifically is channel performance. And this is in quote-unquote beta, but I like it. It's good. Because one of the main things we found to be very difficult with PMax is that it's a wild beast. It's a black box. It spends your money any which way it wants to see if it can use the almighty Google algorithm to generate you a conversion. And what is a conversion? Well, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Essentially, what it's supposed to be, it's not supposed to be a sale. It sometimes isn't even a lead. It's just an actionable item we want someone to take. So guess what? That's a lead, yeah. Submitting a form, chatting, clicking a phone number to call. But it also could be a button click. It also could be starting a retail process. It also could be starting the trade evaluation. It also could be viewing your finance details for a specific amount of time and engaging with it. So it really depends on how your conversions are set up. Because guess what? Performance Max, PMax goal in life is to just go and get conversions. That's what it's designed to do. So what we used to do in the past is manipulate PMax to do certain things that we wanted it to do. And it really comes down to these channels. Now, PMax, this is the crux of PMax, right? This is the understanding. When you run a PMax campaign, you got to know two things. Number one, we just covered. Its goal in life, okay? Its goal in life is to get conversions. So if you're not telling it the right conversions, then you're not going to steer it in the right direction. It's almost like, okay, what's my North Star? If I have a compass, right? If I'm relying on a compass, old school, Christopher Columbus days. If I'm using a compass to find the direction of where I want to go. Well, if my compass is messed up, not calibrated right, guess what? I'm not going to go in the right direction. That's essentially what conversions are to PMax. You got to make sure your conversions are set up appropriately. Pretty much every single account that I go in, even some of our own accounts, depending upon how you're categorizing for primary, secondary observations, has conversion errors. So check it, right? Check it. Okay, so with that being said, what is the channel performance? This is the second thing, right? The second big thing. You got to find out where Google PMax, Performance Max, is spending the money. And the cool thing about this channel performance, which I've covered on some other videos, is it helps us identify where the money's being spent. So guess what? PMax, you got to understand this. This is the second point, okay? PMax will spend your money in all the available ad networks that Google has. Repeat that one more time. Google will spend your money in PMax on all the available ad networks that Google has. And I'm going to repeat it a third time. Google will spend your money, if you're running a Performance Max campaign, on all the available ad networks it has. So, one of the big things that we did is to control PMax was to limit the networks it had to send ads to. That's what VLAs essentially are. VLAs really is designed to only serve on search, but now that we have performance, channel performance, we find that that's actually not the case. It serves in other networks, display. It's really display. But why is it a problem? Because different networks have different buying intent. Okay? Search, classically has the highest buying intent. If someone goes to Google search, they're probably looking for something and they know what they're looking for. That's why you want to saturate search first, but doesn't mean that YouTube, Google Maps, Gmail, Display, and Discover don't offer certain value. So if we look at this PMax campaign, now this is not a VLA campaign because guess what? VLAs are now VAs, are technically PMax campaigns or Performance Max campaigns because PMax is a type of campaign, right? You know, your OEM Stellantis is famous for this. Oh, yeah, we'll sign up for PMax campaigns. So non-descriptive. PMax is a campaign type. VLA is an industry-specific campaign. A VLA is a PMax, but a PMax doesn't necessarily have to be a VLA. Okay? So we are dealing with a more PMax, we call it full builds, or with all of the assets put in, not just the feed to show on the vehicle ad section. So this report is extremely important, and if you want to sell more cars, you just really need to do one of two things. Number one is you need to check what conversions you're getting, and actually with these, I think we're not getting the right conversions. We have to evaluate this, and we have to test something different. But also too, you want to see where your spend is going. So I like this channel performance because it says what? We got 11,000 impressions. Almost 300 interactions, which includes clicks and engagements, and then 281 results. The result is a conversion. But if you look here, contact, that's our result. Other, we got 15 of those contacts. 7 others, 19 engagements, 61 get directions. Now, this campaign was originally set up to skew towards maps. We wanted a Google Maps campaign. And the only way to really do that was to serve on PMax and only limit the conversions to be related to the Maps network, which is primarily get directions, phone calls, and potentially store visits. But now Google's even becoming more diluted. I don't want to say diluted, but just packed with different types of result categories. That it's just like that's the first thing we do. We have to organize it. And actually, this campaign needs organization. And this is a campaign we run, and that's why I wanted to show it to you because, guys, guess what? It's not perfect. We're not perfect. We have to keep checking. We're evaluating. I just came in this. I could have just waited on this video and just said, hey, this video's not perfect. This is not perfect. Hey, team, we need to fix this. No. I want to show you a live case study about what we're seeing and what works. Because someone told me, I asked them a question, do you have a thought about VAs or VLAs or this or that? And he goes, man, I just know that this is important, but at the end of the day, I just want to sell cars. I just want to sell more cars. So with that being said, what's going to help us sell cars? Well, I don't know. So what does this campaign say? It says about 0.12% is going to display, so pretty much minimal. 18% is going to maps, so a large part of maps, and then the rest is going to search, shopping. Okay? Little bit on YouTube, very little. Because guess what? Maps placements could be on YouTube too. And that's why it's like not even about the network, it's really about the goal. You want to make sure your goal and your conversion are dialed in. That's number one. So with this being said, I think there's opportunities to clean up these conversions on the right-hand side. Do we really need all these conversions for this PMax full build? Do we need contact, other engagement, get directions, page view, and phone call lead, and store visits all to be under one roof? Or do we need to designate certain PMax campaigns for a set amount of conversions? And when we do that and give it the right assets, it's going to serve on the what? It's going to serve on the right networks. So we used to be really heavy in networks, and I think there's still there's still a thought behind that, but now we need to be more heavy on the type of results we're getting from the individual campaigns, because that's what's going to help drive better growth, drive more growth. But there are things you have to check with that, and you have to be careful. And that's why there's other things that I won't get into this video, but there's other things like evaluating search terms on PMax. So for this example, which I can't get into because I'll give the client away, on this example, search terms are really important. Why? Because, well, 80% of our budget spent on search. Somebody's calling me. 80% of our budget is spent on search, 20%-ish on maps. So, okay, what do we got to check? We got to check for what search terms we're following up for, because what do we do on a search campaign? That's what we do for a search campaign. Why? Because we'll understand what's our intent of the buyer or the searcher. And guess what shows up in this campaign? It's all branded stuff. It's all branded stuff, meaning it's the name of the business. You've heard me on this channel say we don't want that in general. However, on this campaign we do. Why? Because this is a specific PMax or Performance Max campaign designed to go after Google Maps. We want it to be Maps focused. It's a very low cost per click. It's very, very cost efficient. And it could, especially with the right keywords, we can be out there for stuff that we want to be on Maps for, especially like service related. Right? Jeep dealer near me, Jeep service near me, whatever it is. We want to be out there for it. Mercedes service near me. We want to be saturating that Maps placement, and I think we're doing an okay job, but we do have to reevaluate this campaign because maybe 18% is not enough, and maybe some of these, I like how you highlight it too. You highlight the actual network, and it tells you where the necessary conversions are happening from it, so you can gear towards that. So looking at this report is going to help you sell more cars. And having this in front of you, as well as looking at search terms, is going to give you a better look under the hood of what's happening. Why? 2 reasons. Number one, you're going to define the results you're getting. And guess what? Not all these results are going to be designed to sell you cars. Some are going to be designed for service, parts, so on and so forth. Number two, you got to understand where your money's being spent on Google's network. And guess what? PMax is a black box, but it's no longer, I don't know if it's a black box the same anymore. It's more like a frosted window box, where it's like it's not completely black anymore. You kind of have some frosted windows, so you can kind of make out certain things. So take advantage. And that, my friends, is how you're going to sell more cars using Google PMax. It is one of the, if not the most powerful advertising campaign that we have available to us, just because of the sheer data Google has and because of the AI and machine learning technology from it. But if you don't steer it the right way and you don't set it up for success, just like anything, it will fail. So let me know in the comments what you think, what you're seeing, what are your thoughts about the channel performance, and I would love, love, love to have more discussions there. Thank you so much, everybody. David Feldman-Makrias, and we'll talk to you real soon. Take care.